university clinic or hospital in Freiburg, they used the system if a new patient came in and they wanted to know does the person have COVID or not. And then they needed a quick reply because depending on if the person has COVID or not, they need to adjust their setting and adjust their equipment so that they don't get infected. As you can see, we don't have a full disk, so it's only half of a disk, and that's why you can run 2 tests in parallel. So the idea is that you take a swab sample from a person. That's probably something that you already know from the testings that we all had to do during the last years. You then put this swab into the cartridge. You put the cartridge in the device, and in the end you get a result if you're positive or negative. And that really represents the simplicity of this approach. So there's nothing really complicated. Everybody can do it basically if you're able to take a good swab sample. That's probably the most critical point. And afterwards it's fully automated and you get a quick answer if you're positive or negative. So that here are some of the performance characteristics of the system. So it's able to detect 700 copies in 100 microliters. So I think the sensitivity is is basically too good in the end. They can detect concentrations that are not of relevance anymore for infections or contaminations. And they claim at least that they have analytical specificity of 100% so that there are no false positives. So every positive test is automatically a correct positive test. But I think it's more interesting to have a closer look at the cartridge, which is presented on the right-hand side. And by now, I hope that there are many things that look familiar to you. Also, first of all, you can see that there are some of those stick packs for the pre-storage, and you see that there are lots of fluidic structures which you might have already seen. So here we have this aliquoting structure, and this is something we already discussed in the unit operation lecture. And here the idea, if you remember, it was that you can analyze different targets with one single cartridge. So you can check for COVID in this, you can check for influenza in the second one, you can check for bacterial infections in the third one. And this allows you to have one cartridge to analyze, at least, up to 100 different targets by using the same cartridge. You can also